Hello, and welcome to Sky Career Talks, here where we get to discuss why communicating and connecting with Rutgers alumni is so important. Today we'll be learning about Dev Kanor, who graduated from Rutgers University in 2021 with a degree in communications, specializing in strategic public communication and public relations, and also leadership in organizations and community, and minoring in digital communications, information, and media, also known as DCIM. We get to learn a little bit more of what it is like to transition from intern to full-time role with Dev's career journey. She currently works as the Public Relations and Content Specialist at SocialWise Communications. Here we get to learn more about Dev's career journey and where she is today. Hi, my name is Lane Klimek, and today I'm joined by Dev Kanor to discuss where Rutgers alumni start their career after college. How are you today?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good. So can you start by just giving us a brief overview of your career journey?
Yeah, sure. Um, I graduated in 2021 in May. I actually went to school for Rutgers for accounting. Realized after one pre-calc class that's not what I wanted to do. And then from there, I was kind of just testing the water, seeing what I liked. And usually, when people don't know what they want to do, they either do poli sci or comm. And I went into comm because politics is not my thing. So I ended up really loving the comms classes that I took. I really meshed well with the dean. House Folder, he's awesome. And I got some amazing insight from my professors too. Um, and from there, I just really realized that I loved what I was learning. I actually felt like I was grasping the information and I could see myself doing a career. And yeah, my senior year, right before my senior year, I started looking for internships and I interned at this company called SocialWise Communications, which is where I'm at right now. I was an intern there for a year. And from there, I think right before I graduated, I was offered like a part time role for like 2 months. And then from there, I went into my full time. Um, and yeah, I went from an intern to a specialist to an assistant, and then now I'm a specialist. So it's awesome.
That's super exciting and really cool to hear how you transitioned from being an intern to then, part-time, then full-time. So that's really cool. And I think a lot of students, use that advice. So while you were there and you transitioned, what type of, technical or interpersonal skills do you think students need when starting their career? When you started as an intern, then part-time and full-time.
Yeah, I think one thing that stood out to me, there's a few things that stand out to me when I reflect back, um, and what I still tell interns now, because part of my role is managing and working with the intern. So I think about when I was an intern, I had such a great experience, and that was because I was very intentional with what I wanted to gain and take out of each experience. Um, I have heard horror stories of internship experiences where they're getting coffee, they're not really learning anything, and I did not want that. So definitely do research on where and who you're going to be working with, and just because that's really the start of your networking yourself and building that network. And from there, be really willing and open to learn. If the thing with internships and when you're starting your career is everything's kind of like a test, so you end up realizing what you do like, what you don't like. But I think at the end of the day, being super open and wanting to learn, that should be a main key point. And if you realize you don't really enjoy what you're learning, then that'll give it away. I also think just being very keeping an open perspective when it comes to your internship and your career. When I was in school and I was balancing being an intern and pretty much working and also doing school, I kind of had to look at the pros and cons of things. Sometimes there were events that would coincide with my classes, and I had to look at, okay, what makes the most sense, what's going to help me long term. There's been times where I had asked my boss to write me a letter of recommendation or a letter to get me out of class just so I can go to this huge event that would end up showing really well on my resume. And at the end of the day, I was still learning, so definitely never regretted any of those times. So really weigh everything out, keep an open perspective, and you should be really excited. I remember I was kind of scared when I first got into everything, but as time goes on, you end up learning so much and gaining so much experience.
That's awesome. You touched a little bit about it, networking, and obviously in a world of communications, that's super important. So, what's your opinion? Like, how important do you think networking is for the industry or just, students developing their careers?
I think it's super crucial. It's gonna happen whether you like it or not. Somehow you're gonna be networking yourself just from people that you meet, um, going to different places and experiencing new things. I think keeping a keeping in mind that whoever you do meet, you don't know their story, you don't know who they are, you don't know if they own this huge company or if they're heading a corporation or a giant department, or they might be someone that you can end up working with in 6 months. So definitely be really kind to everyone you meet. I've seen with my own eyes people be really rude and have like an unpleasant experience with someone, and then a few months later they're working with them and that's not the best impression. So definitely be really open, kind, and just genuine to everyone that you meet. Um, and yeah, networking is something that I think it's definitely one of the most crucial things as in your career. Um, i found the more people you know and the quality of people that you know and the quality of that connection and relationship that you develop with these people, that really takes you far in terms of your career, in terms of getting new experience, meeting clients, and even expanding onto what you want to do, and yeah, any future plans you might have.
That's definitely helpful. I know that networking is huge in the communications world. So, graduation wasn't too long ago for you, but it may feel like it. But do you have any tips or recommendation that you would advise to students who are, either just starting their career, they're graduating, or they're in the middle of an internship? Like, what do you wish you knew at the time?
um, I would say, first of all, graduate, it feels like it's been 5 years. But I would say, going off of that, definitely cherish the time that you have. I know you might feel like you're super busy, and chances are you definitely are, but you're going to get even more busy, and even if you're not as busy, you're going to be so preoccupied in what you're doing, and understanding that what you're working on is super important, and you feel so much connection to that, hopefully, that you're always going to be busy. So I think, given that, you should really learn time management, and give yourself time to dabble in everything that you're interested in. Um, I wouldn't recommend just 100% spending your entire energy just in your career. I think it's so important to find other things in life that make you really happy, whether it's hobbies or whether it's other interests, or honestly, even learning new skills that can be another career for you. That's so, so important. And while you're in college, I think that's such a great time to explore that, because there's so many resources, whether it's clubs or whether it's just literally walking down to the yard and talking to someone, you'll chances are they're doing something that's really cool to you. So, um, and that's networking too. So definitely take advantage of all the resources that are at hand. Um, I would also say connect with your teachers and the staff. They are so, so helpful, personally and professionally. Having those connections, your teachers, the last thing they should be is just a teaching tool. They have so many connections as well. And the more you develop that relationship with them, the better understanding they have of you. And they might even notice things or characteristics about you that you might not even have on hand. And they'll be like, hey, here's a great opportunity with one of my colleagues that I worked with in the past. So, yeah, and to say yes to as many opportunities for gaining experience as long as it's ethical and reasonable. Definitely say yes to that and build your resume. Start young. Start young. Don't wait until after college to do that.
That's great advice. Thank you. So, lastly, just to end this on more of like a lighthearted note, could you describe your job in 3 words?
In 3 words, I would say exciting. It's very exciting. Excuse me. It's very exciting because uh, I don't feel like I'm ever stagnant, or I don't ever have a boring day. I would also say versatile. There's so many different things. I think in my job particularly, and where I'm at, that, like I said, every day is so different. I work on so many different kinds of things. I've done like website building and content creation, literally UGC and building those videos, and also going on site for events and handling accounts, building relationships with media. So I think every day is new, every project is new, and I think the last word, I would say a lot of collaboration. As much independence that I get in my job and a responsibility that's put on me that I do have to complete, there's a lot of collaborating, whether it's within my team or within even with writers and other connections that you make. There's lots of room for collaboration, and it's honestly super special. So, yeah, everyone should be very excited.
That's great. Thank you so much for joining me today, Dev. This advice will definitely be helpful for students starting their career.
Thank you for having me.